Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, then click all. Thanks. Hi everyone, welcome back. These are the nails I'm going to be working with today, and as you can see, they're in pretty bad shape. I did these in the very beginning of May, and I wore these on my vacation, and I filled them at least twice. Now it's time to shorten the white nails, and then as you can see, I need to replace the middle finger and the pointer finger. And I'm going to be replacing those two nails with Russian dual forms. Okay, that's what I'm going to be using to replace those nails. And I've never used these Russian dual forms before. I'm going to wing it, okay? And I got some of these new dual forms from the Gossip Nails company on Aliexpress. Here are the nails that I am talking about. There is 120 in a box. There's 12 different sizes 0 to 11. They run $7.64, and then you have to pay shipping, which is $4.20. So that comes about close to $11 for a box. These dual forms last a long time. I will have the links to Gossip Nails store in the description box if you want to go and check it out. Now, I've seen a lot of Russian nail techs use these, or Eastern European nail techs use these. That's why I call them Russian dual forms. And if you're familiar with Nailku, Anastasia, she has used them, and I've watched her, and I'm trying to study her video to see how she uses them. These are very straight forms. They have lines on them, marking them, so you can put your polygel or gel up to those lines. These can be used for square nails, almond nails, round. I believe you could even file it into a stiletto, and that would work too. They have a beautiful C curve if you want to keep them square. Beautiful, just look at that. These are amazing tips. And when the Russian nail techs use these, it looks really easy, okay? But it's not that easy. You have to learn how much polygel to use, especially when you set it down on the nail. So it's tricky. This is the first time I used them, so cut me some slack, people, okay? Because I am used to using paper forms, okay? So please, I know this is gonna look crazy and you're gonna be like, oh, she should just be using a form, paper form, it's so much easier, maybe a glue-on tip. You can get faster at these. All you have to do is practice. Here is a close-up look of all the sizes, starting from 0 here as the largest, all the way down to size 11 being the smallest. The first thing you need to do is determine what size of dual form is going to fit your fingernail. You just hold it up to your nail and see how it's fitting side to side, and then you can determine how long you want your nail to be too by the lines that's on here. My nail has already been prepped. If you want to see how I prep nails, you can follow the arrow and watch that. And I've already applied the dehydrator and primer, and now I need to apply a base gel because polygels need a base gel. Here I'm applying it all over the nail, and then I will cure it for 30 seconds. I just dispense a small amount of polygel because I'm making a short nail tip here, and then I'm going to just put it right on the form. And the polygel brand I'm using is from the Yogi company, and I'm also just going to be using isopropyl alcohol to smooth the polygel into place on this form. At this point, I'm trying to determine the length that I want for my tip. This part of the nail that I'm working on right now is the part that I am going to sit on the nail, and it's the part where I'm trying to figure out how thick to make this area, because I know once I place it on the nail, if I push too hard, then some of the product is going to squeeze out. I mean, I know once I cure it, I can file it off, but just determining the thickness of the nail, or how thick I should make it, it's kind of hard, kind of difficult. All right, so now I'm going to just apply this to my nail, and I'm going to press down slightly and check the sides. And I do know that some of the product does squeeze out, But at this point, I'm really not worried about it right now because I know once I cure it, I'm going to file it. So I do take my brush with some isopropyl alcohol and I do try and pat down and smooth out some of the polygel that has squeezed out from me applying pressure. You know, it's not going to be perfect once it's cured there, but like I said, I will be filing it. And now it's time to cure it, and the lamp that I'm using is a portable rechargeable lamp by Abode, and the ends are opened. So I put my finger through, and on the other open end, I use my other finger and I hold it down and I cure it for about 15 seconds. And then I let go of the form because it's on there, and then I go ahead and I cure it for 90 seconds. This is what it looks like straight out of the lamp, and I am going to take my tweezers and I'm just going to pinch it slightly. Being that it's fresh out of the lamp, it's still warm and I'm able to shape it. So I'm just going to come in with a fine carbide bit and I am going to file off that little ridge here because I want it to be smooth, because I'm going to be applying a white milky builder gel on top of that. Now I want to show you the second nail that I did, and this one I am applying the base gel only to half of the nail because basically that's where the dual form sits, is only halfway down the nail or less. So I will cure the base gel for 30 seconds. I did it the same as the last nail. I applied the polygel on the dual form, used isopropyl alcohol to pat and shape the polygel the way I wanted it. I will say that the second nail was a lot easier to do, so that just tells me the more practice you have, the better you're going to be with using these dual forms. Now to place it on the nail and cure it the same way that I did the other nail. And this is what it looks like after curing. And now I'm going to file it, and this time I'm just going to use a hand file. Now is the time to apply the builder gel, and this is a milky white builder gel that I made myself, and I used Star Nails International white builder gel, and they're clear, and I mixed it together and came up with my own milky white builder gel. And this is a one-phase gel that has the base in it, so I don't need to apply a base to the nail. Here I'm applying the first layer of the milky white gel. I try to get it as close as I can to the cuticle area without flooding it. Don't worry if you flood it, you're not going to go to jail. You just use your cuticle pusher to clean it out before you cure the gel and you'll be fine. Now you can take notice that I switched brushes. My gel brush is a double-ended brush. It has a liner on the other end. And so I use this liner when I work around the cuticle area and sidewalls a lot of times. It just makes the job a lot easier and neater. And because I didn't cure this gel yet, you can see when I place a bead of gel, how nicely it just levels into the wet gel. It's looking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and cure this for 1 minute. This is the second layer, and as you can see with the first bead of gel, same thing. I apply to the cuticle area and try to get as close as I can and then pull forward, and then I get more gel and I'm focusing on the apex area and trying to give the nail some structure right now. And you can see the difference. You know that by watching that I'm applying a lot more gel than I did the first layer. And then I'm going to have to flip my finger over and let gravity pull the gel down to form an apex. Remember, if any gel pulls down into the cuticle area or sidewalls, just clean it off before you cure it. And here I go. I flip the nail over, let it stay for a while, and then I'll flip it back and cure it for 1 minute. I'm going to start on the third layer, and as you can see, this nail is looking very good. So I'm just going to focus a little bit more on the apex area and just build that up a little bit higher. Again, starting at the cuticle area and brushing forward. As you can see here, I have gotten really close to the sidewall area and some of the gel has flooded it, but no worries. I'm going to use my cuticle cleaner. I am going to clean it out. And if you are interested in this tool, I will have a link in the description box for the cuticle cleaner, and also you can follow the arrow and watch my video on this cuticle cleaner. Once the cuticles are cleaned out, I will go ahead and cure this for 1 minute. Now that the nail is all cured, it's time to clean it, and I will do the shaping and filing. One of the things I've noticed with dual form nails is that once you flip the nail over, you can see sometimes that the nail looks thick from the underside. So you have to come in with your e-file and a fine bit, and you have to go at low speed, and you need to take out some of that thickness and thin that underside down so the nail looks more natural. And the drill bit that I'm using here is a fine bit, but I also dulled the edge of this bit so that it's not sharp. Usually the end of these carbide bits are very sharp, like a razor. And so by dulling that, it's less likely to cut me. But if you're not good or you're not experienced with an e-file, you could hurt yourself. You could really cut yourself. So you want to be really careful if you attempt this, okay? You should really be trained in an e-file. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking out the thick bulkiness from the underside. And here are the finished nails. I really love how they turned out. I think those 2 nails turned out really great too. I'm still wearing them, and it's been 2 weeks and I've already filled them, and they're holding up great. Now I do think that I will be using these Russian dual forms a lot more in the future. I actually think they're really fast. I mean, I think they're faster than trying to adjust and put on a paper form or even glue on a nail tip. So with more practice, I'm sure I'm going to get better. And I know a lot of you out there are probably wondering, why don't you just make the nail all polygel? Or why don't you just make the nail all builder gel? Why do you do both? Well, I love builder gel. It's my most favorite thing to work with. But when it comes to time, trying to make a base nail out of builder gel seems to take a lot longer, at least I think. And a lot of times I just think it's so much easier to use polygel to make a base nail with. So I thought, I'm just going to use polygel in the Russian dual form, and that will be a base nail tip, right? And then I'll apply the builder gel afterwards. I mean, yeah, a lot of times I do all builder gel nails, most of the time, but I've been just trying to experiment with things, and I think I'm liking it. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. And I want to thank you so much for being here and for watching. And I hope I helped you to learn something new. And yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.